it. Stay on my grizzly, killing competition. Competition, killing competition. I want it all on focus. Let's go and get it. Go and get it. Set them focused, say let's go and get it. Killing competition, I'm all about it. Spin that bread and make it back. Ain't worried about competition. Put them on cardiac, popping bottles and all of that. You know I'm all of that. I keep the crowd jumping like I gave them a party pack. Call audibles like a quarterback. Roethlisberger, I'm stealing, killing these niggas up. I'm getting away with murder. I catch the wave of the track. I'm gnarly just like a surfer. I'm so hot and I ain't even touched the purple. Me and you know my Dewey not the same. I'm insane like Cypress Hill in the membrane. Getting money, that's all that's on the nigga mind. Make highlights like Griffin, yeah, that's all the time. I'm a business, you know I'm out to get it. Stay on my grizzly, killing competition. Competition, killing competition. I want it all on focus. Let's go and get it. Go and get it.
Hey, leave a message.
Set them focus, say let's go and get it. Killing competition, the definition, something like LL Cool. I'm moving at a snail pace, but I'm still getting to the guacamole, mucho dinero. It's gonna take you forever, get to this level. I'm hot like a tea kettle, never settle. A rock star, man, I keep that heavy metal. I'm country like Aaron Neville, get better with each endeavor. I'm beating hard, yeah, just like a trouble. They praising me like a pharaoh. I'm a rebel, no prescription for the sickness. Call me a fiend of the game, cause I'm addicted. Chasing paper, you know I'm running wind sprint. I'm a business, you know I'm out to get it. Stay on my grizzly, killing competition. Competition, killing competition. I want it all on focus. Let's go and get it. Go and get it. Set them focused, say let's go and get it. Killing competition, big money.
All right, sorry about that delay there. Welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show. I'm Alex Iserman. Jeff, how you doing tonight, sir? Welcome.
I'm good.
You're good. All right, we ain't got much time to chit-chat as we start here. We're going to be joined in the second half of our show by brand new WIBA Super Bantamweight champion Jessica Rakoczy, as well as her coach, Dewey, the Black Kobra Cooper, who's also a fighter himself, has a big fight this weekend in China. But before that, we're going to be joined by well, first, let's go ahead and introduce our brand new co-host. Not only is she the best-looking ring card girl in all of boxing and MMA, but she's probably the only one that has a degree from Yale and is also a law student. So, Ashley, welcome to the team.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good, and yourself?
Well, I'm doing well. Jeff, I missed you since last week. I'm glad y'all decided to have me back.
All right, guys. All right, well, let's go ahead and bring on our first guest. He's star of the hit True TV show, Hardcore Pon, Seth God. Seth, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us on the Jeff Mayweather Show.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you. We are so excited to talk to you.
You know, it's Seth, before we get started, I wanted to say this. You know, we've had Larry Holmes, we've had Tommy Hearns, we've had, the greats all over the boxing, but I think this is the most excited Jeff's ever been for a show is having you on.
Yeah, well, you mentioned a Detroit boxer that's near and dear to my family, Tommy Hearns. So, absolutely, if I can rank with Tommy Hearns in that category, you know what, I feel pretty honored.
Yeah, we had him on just a couple weeks ago, him and Milton McCrory, right after the passing of Emanuel Stewart. Great guy. It was great to have him on, but, great to have you on, too. Jeff, go ahead. Just Jeff, give your thoughts on the show. I know it's your absolute favorite show on TV.
Well, I watch it so much that I can't watch it no more.
Not true.
But no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still watch it, but the only thing I don't know is this: does everybody come in the store mad?
Does anybody come in the store mad? Is that the question?
Yeah, everybody seems to be angry as can be.
Oh, everybody? I think it's just my family that's typically mad. You mean the customers? Those are easy to deal with.
No,
my sister and dad.
You two are always mad at each other. You three. But
yeah, you know, that gives it life.
Yeah, no, I think what he was saying, Seth, I was watching it too. We can't watch anymore. Is that he's seen every show like 15 times. Actually, I'm in the same category. You tune on and you see the marathon going on there. Like, okay, have I seen this one or not? I think I've seen each one by about 3 times by now too.
I really appreciate it. 4 years ago, before we ever did the show, if you ever asked me if I thought I'd ever be on TV, as part of a hit TV show, I would have absolutely said no way. But, that's the reaction I'm getting now, which is, overwhelming. I was coming down to Vegas about 4 months ago, and, somehow I got in contact with Jeff, and, when he said he was a fan of mine, and obviously with the prevalence of their boxing family, and they're fans of mine, are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable ride, so.
Well, I know we weren't able to work out last time, but next time you're in town, for sure, make sure you get down and stop by the gym and take a tour there. We need, here in Vegas, we need a pawn show like yours. It'd be nice if we can get, represented down here somewhere, But I don't think we have anything on TV representing Las Vegas, so, have to deal with that.
Yeah, we have a pawn show, but it sucks.
No comment.
We need action. We need action like in Detroit.
Yeah.
Hey, get out my store with that crap.
Although, Seth, I've been gone for a long time now, but I'm originally from the mean streets of West Bloomfield, and I'm wondering why there's never any guys from there. Are you guys afraid to keeping those thugs out of the store from there, or what?
Mean streets of West Bloomfield, yeah, those are tough. That's a tough area around the city. So I imagine it was tough for you growing up, huh? All those boats and cars, really tough.
I actually lived in the poor section of town, so I had to make do, but I did what I could. You had touched about being a celebrity that you never thought you would be. What is that? I mean, I don't think you go into the pawn business thinking you're going to be a star someday. Just, what's that like, the transformation into your life as far as being just a pawnbroker to now being, who you are now?
Someone that's noticed. I still won't consider myself a celebrity. For me, I'm still at work 6 days a week, 9:30 to 6. So I haven't that's my job. And so the fact that people recognize me, I'll be honest with you, the first time that I was out and somebody wanted to take a picture with me, I turned to them and I was like, for what? And that was my initial reaction, for what? I don't understand. And now you get it, and now you're kind of in a life, so you maximize it the best way you can. And whether that's interacting with fans, doing stuff for charity, doing stuff for yourself, you just make the connections that you normally wouldn't be able to make if you didn't have this opportunity.
All right. Hey, Ashley, let me bring you. You haven't said anything yet. I know you're in law school and all, but how much do you get to watch the tube and watch the show?
You know what? The problem is when they put them on marathons, because once you start watching, I cannot stop, and my productivity tends to decline. And, Seth, I love the show, and, being a ring card girl, people say crazy things to me, and I am pretty sure that I have heard it all by now, but I guess I was just wondering, is it still possible to surprise you, or do you think you have just seen it all and, it's kind of hard to shock you still?
No, like even today, we're filming right now, so there's some crazy stuff that happened today, so nothing ever gets normal in my life. You just take things for what it is. I'll be interacting with a customer, asking them how much they want. Next thing you know, their shirt's down. How do you prepare yourself for that? And
I'm sorry about that, Seth. That was just one time I did that.
One of my favorite moments is when that woman asks your sister to bring a guy over because she wants to deal with a guy. And when I saw her shirt, I thought, well, I'm guessing I know why she wore that dress, because she probably wasn't expecting to deal with your sister. But I thought she handled it great.
Appreciate that. You know, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun ride.
Jeff, let me ask you this. So Jeff, if you're walking in there to pawn your old WBO title belt, who do you think would be the best one to get the most money out of, Jeff?
The father.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Because your father makes deals. You and your sister, oh my God.
Well, no. But Jeff, you could actually be wrong. I think you might think you can get the most out of the father out of Les, but with Seth being a fan of sports and that kind of thing, he's been known to wheel and deal, you know, on things too. You know, if he's personally invested and likes the product, so you know he might be the way to go.
Yeah, I take that back.
No, you only get one shot when you walk in. You only get one shot when you walk in. So who you're going to?
I think we can all agree Ashley would be the last one to take it to any sports memorabilia, though, right?
Well,
yeah,
see, my problem is that I am so gullible that I will believe any story. And I know people come in and tell you some crazy stories, and my problem is I would feel bad for everybody, and I would believe them. So that would be my problem. And then my other problem would be that I would want to keep everything that I like. And I know that you're not in business to just keep it all.
So guess what? You are not going to be a good pawnbroker. I'm sorry.
I know, but luckily I am not planning on doing that.
There you go.
Well, so Seth, you know, ultimately everything ends. You know, the show eventually will run its course, and it'll be done. After that, you know what? I mean, obviously you'll still be in the pawn business, but you're going to be sad to see it go. What's life going to be like then?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, and I can't really tell you. You can't prepare for it because the show's on such a high momentum swing right now. We're 6 seasons in. It's still drawing the biggest audiences of all time. So once it goes, it's going to be part of my life. I'm going to have some cool experiences, meet some people, and then will I be sad? I'll probably be sad, but, you know, it's life is normal, and so I'm kind of out of the limelight. But it's hard to predict and hard to prepare. So when it happens, we'll just deal with it.
All right. Jeff, what we need to set up, though, if you head back to Detroit for anything anytime soon, you know, they've hired former athletes there before. You know, they've had Darren McCarty. So Seth, do you think there's a spot for Jeff to work?
Not only for Jeff, but I have an open invite to all of you. As if you guys ever make it to the Detroit area, you guys all can be pawnbrokers for the day. I'll give you a tour, and you guys can document it whatever you like and kind of experience what I experienced.
I am not sure you want me dealing with customers after what I already admitted, but I might take you up on that.
We can teach you. We'll groom you into the best pawnbroker.
All right, you're going to teach. You know what? That will apply to my law career too. You know, I can be firm with everybody, and maybe I should come up. Maybe that would actually teach me some good lessons going forward.
Build a backbone for sure.
Now, Jeff, Floyd Sr.'s back from Detroit, right?
Yeah, he's back now.
Yeah, so we could have sent him over there, but oh well, guys. You know, another thing, a question I had, Seth, which is interesting to me. You know, being in Detroit, there, you know, the whole place being like a tourist destination. You know, we joked about it earlier, but you know, we do have the other store here for the other show. But what's it like just having a place, you know, just a basic pawn store that's a tourist destination for people? Is that kind of weird to see people stopping out just taking pictures of the building?
Oh yeah, I mean, people will literally drive up in the parking lot, take a picture, and drive away. They'll come in, they'll take a picture of me, like sitting back in my office. Like there's like one certain view through the showroom that you can see my office, and so I'll see people snapping pictures. People from Australia, so I guess the show is doing really, really well in Australia. So people will come to the States, take a detour, come up to Detroit, stop there for a day, and then head out. So, I mean, it's been a whirlwind experience, you know. It's like we're not, like, working. We're kind of like just these people who, you know, are part of this TV show. And so people come in and just take pictures. It's like, I'm trying to sell a $10,000 ring here. Like, I don't think this customer really wants to be, like, you know, taking pictures of, but it's wild.
Yeah, you'd mentioned, how does it work with filming? Do they have, like, a set schedule where basically I mean, I know it's reality TV, so they have to make certain concessions for TV, so do they have, you know, like it's kind of closed to the public where they have the people that are doing the business for the show, or is it always just open and they film around and people are just straggling in doing their own thing?
That's exactly. So when we're in filming mode, which we are right now, we're open from 9:30 to 6. The second I walk in, they put a mic on me, and the second we close, they take the mic off, and everything is fair game. So they just chronicle my day and how we interact and just dealing with our customers.
And Jeff, what's your favorite? Since you've seen them all 15 times, what's a particular part of any show that stands out for you?
Well, I mean, I like most of the time I like the shows where the people get, so irate that they want to fight, and they always, every time they turn around, they don't realize that the bodyguards are right behind them, so they act like they want to do something, but before you know it, they can't do anything because the big guys are pushing them out. But the other guys, that's like a regular on the show, the dude who always pawn his rings.
The gambling guy? The guy that always goes to gamble?
Guy always, yeah, have you ever lost all of his money and never won't be able to afford his rings again? He keeps winning just enough to come back and buy his rings. That's like stupid to me because you're never getting ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that frustrate you, Seth? When you not frustrate you, but how do you, when people come in like that are desperate, or you think they're desperate and they're going to use it for a good cause, only to find out they're donating their last or whatever just to go out and gamble some more. That's got to be pretty pretty tough to see some of these guys. You want to counsel them and say, hey man, quit being an idiot and take care of yourself. So what's that like dealing with people like that aren't responsible?
Yeah. So here's the deal. Like, most of my customers come in because they want to make their ends meet, and I completely understand that. Most of my customers come in because they have a utility bill, they have a light bill, they have just some sort of gas bill. And most people take advantage for what we are accustomed to, short-term collateral loans. They pay it back after the 90 days. Now, you have those customers that, do whatever with their money. But I'm not a counselor. I'm not their parent. Everyone's a grown adult. And so basically, if someone once they leave my store, it's really not my issue. I hope they use the money to the best of their ability. But ultimately, I have no attachment to it because I still have a business to run with 55 employees.
Yeah. And exactly, you guys get some criticism for stuff like that, and like you said, it's you're not a psychologist, you're not a doctor, you're not anything like that. You're a business, and people are adults, and they have to be responsible for themselves. It's not your responsibility to take care of somebody and make them make wise decisions. You're just offering them an opportunity to get money and to better the situation, and if they choose to do that or not, that's really on them.
Well, the biggest concern and the thing that bothers me the most is when I'll get some reviews and people will say, like, hey, you really lowballed this guy or you just didn't pay enough. And I'm like, hey, buddy, it's a two-way door. If you don't like my offer, no one has to accept it. There's other pawn shops in the city. Feel free to shop, do whatever you want. But, people criticize us for not helping or not giving enough. It's like, this is like, I'm sorry, but nobody's bound to my store. Go do what you want with your stuff. I'm not telling you have to sell it.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, it's an open market. I mean, yeah, if you give too little, they're free to shop around, of course. So they can go, and I think people are surprised that don't pawn stuff, how little that you really get for stuff. Like, I remember a few years ago, I was in a tough situation. I had a really nice, it was back when the TVs weren't flat screens, I had the big old heavy one, but it was a nice $500 TV, and I went to pawn it, and they said $20. I was like,
yeah,
I
think that's abnormal. That's abnormal. I don't think with the size of our store, we try not to go that low. We try to aim around, and I'm going to be honest with you, 50 to 60% of retail off of electronics. So if you bought it for $500, I'll try and give you $250. That's the reason why we're able to be so successful. That's why we have the long lines. We don't play that low-balling game. We just conduct our business, numbers game, get as many people through the door as possible, collect as much interest as possible.
Hey, Ashley, have you ever pawned anything?
You know what? I have not, and it's probably because I am so sentimental that I would just not be able to get rid of anything. And I can't even get rid of clothes that I don't fit into anymore. I mean, it becomes a little bit of a problem because I have less and less storage, but You know, I do love to see the things that people bring in. When the guy brought in the cockroaches, I almost lost it. And I'm just watching it on TV, but that was frightening. And so it is interesting what some people have around their house that they don't want anymore.
And Jeff, I'm assuming you've never pawned anything, have you? Because I know that's kind of a source of pride. You never had a bill or anything you had to pay. You always pay it in cash. Have you ever pawned anything?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Got to give us a story then.
No. I mean, basically, I pawned some jewelry, but I pawned it. I didn't pawn it because I needed the money. I pawned it because I became so attached to it, and basically became more like a status symbol to me. And I realized that I no longer want to be that person. So I just took it to the pawn shop and just took whatever they gave me. It was,
you sold it. You sold it.
Yeah, I sold it. It was for a personal reason, because me, myself, I just felt like I was attached to it. It seemed like every time I had to leave the house, even if I was in my car already, wait a second, I got to go back in and put this bracelet on and so on and so forth. And then I said, wait a second. I said, I don't even care about jewelry at all, for real. And so basically, I just said, I'm not gonna, let this stuff have that much power over me. So I just took it all in and took whatever they gave me. I wasn't trying to negotiate or anything. I just said, just take it.
And Seth, another question, and I don't want to compare the two shows, I'm sure you've discussed that all the depth, but another thing, too, that I think people don't realize is that every day, people are walking in with Van Goghs and guns from the 1700s. As far as your show being more reality-based and, explain to the folks just the difference of what actually a pawn shop is and the actual stuff you normally comes in there, so they're not, don't have misconceptions about what a pawn shop is.
Let's break it down like this. My customer's not looking for $5,000 to $10,000 to take their family on vacation. They're looking for between $5 and $20 to feed their family. So they're not bringing me the expensive stuff. They're bringing me, the everyday run-of-the-mill stuff, the video game system, the necklace, the rings. Not many rings, one ring, because most people don't own a lot. And so it's about making ends meet with the stuff that you have, not taking your family on exquisite vacations for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right, and if I had, like I said, a Van Gogh or some, ancient piece of warfare or something, I'm not taking it to a pawn shop. I'm, looking for other means. And, that's why people see, go ahead.
No, exactly. You're going to auctions. You're going to go other ways. But, people come in with stuff you have around the house. That's why I think our show is so successful. It's because a lot of people don't know what it's like to be broke. They just don't, but a lot of people do. And then for a successful show, you need something to tug on you. So maybe you have a sister like mine, or you have a brother like me, or you have a dad, or you've been in a family business. But we're just a normal family running a store that provides a service to people that you can or can't take. So it's really that simple.
Yeah. And the last question I want to ask for the show, then I want to talk to you a little about fighting, boxing there. As far as, the show, everyone sees you and your sister always going at it, you and your dad always going at it, and I've been in a family-run business with my sister and my stepfather before and my mom, and that was, kind of similar. We didn't have cameras in our face, but a lot of a similar dynamic there. When you guys aren't on the show, what's it like? I mean, you and Ashley, do you hang out, get along, and your father, that stuff? What's the relationship outside of the show?
Yeah, so basically the show amplifies everything, and so it puts a lot of stress on you. So anybody who's thinking about having a reality show, if you guys aren't, like, thick-skinned, it's very, very difficult. But ultimately, we run a family business, so nobody has your back like family, number one, and no one knows how to attack you like family, number two. So it's kind of a balancing act between the two, We're just like any family, so what you see is what you get.
Yeah, exactly. You guys rip each other apart, but let someone else do it, and then you get 1 minute you're at their throats, next minute you're defending each other. But speaking of reality shows, Jeff, Jeff's has one in the works with his family. So any advice you got for him as far as being on the show?
Thick skin, my buddy. Thick skin. You need thick skin because people are going to be slinging stuff at you all the time, stuff you wouldn't even expect.
Yeah, Jeff, how is that going? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I said I'm sure I would be prepared. No, actually, we don't know. I mean, basically, negotiations and things like that, they kind of broke down, and I don't know if or when they're gonna pick back up, but I'm still hoping that it happens.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool to have all the Mayweathers. Obviously, there's not many families in the country that have more interest than you guys. So hopefully that gets worked out. We get to see that at some point. Seth, as far as I know you're a big sports fan. As far as boxing, MMA, any particular sport that you like more than the other there, and who are some of your favorite fighters?
Boxing, obviously, like I said, Tommy Hearns is a friend of ours. Jackie Callan's a friend of ours. So I've been growing up within the boxing community for a long time. James Toney used to come in all the time. So I've been bred in it. And actually last week it was kind of funny. A customer came in with a autographed Sugar Ray Leonard bowling ball with a boxing glove in it. Wild, What? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. So we see everything, you can imagine.
Yeah, well, speaking of autograph stuff, we'll have to send you a glove signed by the Mayweathers. Maybe we can trade it for some swag from your store.
You got it. No problem at all whatsoever.
We don't have although, you might get trouble with your sister because I don't think we have a certificate of authenticity, so you're just going to have to take our word for it that it's genuine.
So I trust you guys. Don't worry about it.
Now,
right.
Seth, I've heard, Seth, that you are a University of Michigan fan, and your sister is the Michigan State, right?
That's terrible.
So does that mean
Yeah.
Does that mean you're automatically going to be cheering for Jonathan Banks next month when he fights Seth Mitchell again, or how does that one break down for you?
No, I'm a Michigan boy through and through. So whoever's representing blue, that's who I'm going with. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. Underdog, not underdog, it doesn't matter. I'm a Michigan boy.
Well, yeah, that's how we feel here. Anybody who is, I go to law school at the University of Oklahoma, so anybody who is playing Texas is who I am rooting for. So I definitely know how you feel on that one. So I guess that's safe to say you'll be cheering for Jonathan Banks next month.
Hey,
yeah.
Jeff, when the next time Seth gets here, we give him a tour. We're going to have to get him in the ring. So what are your plans to put him through the motions?
So I want to see if he got any boxing skills. Might even put him in a Doom session.
Oh, you don't want to do that to him.
Maybe I never.
No, I'll tell you my first boxing. I'll tell you my first boxing experience.
Well, go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, the first time I went, I wanted to learn how to box. So I went and I paid for a personal trainer to teach me. So about a half hour into it, my arms were dying, right? Because you have to keep them up. My arms were dying. He's like, I'm going to hit you in the face if you don't keep them up. I'm like, I don't care. Hit me in the face. It doesn't matter to me. So trust me, I respect any boxer because it's not easy at all.
I think what we need to do, Jeff, is you get him out here. We put him in the ring with I don't know, we put Michael Grant in there with him to train a little boxing, and then after that we can try some MMA, get him there with King Mo and see how jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm more than happy to ring card that for you guys. I'm more than happy to participate. I'm not sure how many rounds we're going to be going, but that's the cool thing, Seth, down at the gym there. They have at the Mayweather Boxing Club, so much talent down there, and a lot of Michigan guys down there, Detroit guys. We have who's from Jeff? We have J. Leon Love. What other Michigan guys we have? We have Ishe Smith. Who else is from? No, he's from here. Who else is from Detroit from the gym?
Well, one of the trainers, Otis Templeton. He's from. He's not really from Detroit, he's from Grand Rapids.
Okay.
You have quite a few, guys that come. I wouldn't necessarily say from Detroit per se, but from the Midwest. You have, more. There's a lot of people in there from the Midwest, from like Indiana, Cleveland, Cincinnati, areas like that. There's a lot. A lot of people in the gym are from the Midwest.
Hey, now, Seth, as far as, Grand Rapids on the other side of the state, that's where the Mayweathers are from, but just as far as the people in Detroit, how are the Mayweathers regarded?
Oh, I mean, huge. Everybody's huge Mayweather fans. Everyone's a boxing fan. I mean, especially with the Kronk Gym and things like that. I mean, you don't go anywhere where the Mayweathers aren't recognized as, the elite boxing professionals. So there's much love in Detroit for the Mayweathers.
Do you have any memorabilia there at all from them right now?
No, and I need to get some. All right, so let's do that.
So, see, Jeff, we have a project there. We're going to work out a trade. You know what we'll do? Hey, we'll send you something, but you got to send some cockroaches that you bought to Ashley.
No.
No problem.
No, they didn't buy them. They were smart. They didn't buy them.
We can get them. Don't worry.
No.
Worst thing, or nastiest thing anyone's ever tried to pawn to you?
So a guy comes in. No, that doesn't even hold the candle. So a guy comes in, and it was actually filmed. A guy comes in with nothing in his hands and comes up to the desk and goes, "Okay, I want to pawn something." And we're like, "What is it?" He pops his eye out. He has a prosthetic eye. And we're like, "That's disgusting." And we ended up having to turn him away. Yeah, that's exactly the reaction we all gave him, too. Like, that's gross. Put your eye back in. He's like, "But why?" And we're like, "Well, because it's color and size specific, and I don't want your prosthetic eye." So there you go. That's the craziest, wildest thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's quite nasty. And then other than that, just anything else as far as, well, the most common thing is just TVs and computers. Is that pretty much what you get most of the time?
And jewelry, rings, watches, necklaces, things like that.
And is there any one particular person, like I said, that we brushed on a little bit earlier, but that gives the most money for stuff? I mean, if it's jewelry, do you want to go to Ashley or yourself, or I guess it could be Rich, right? Because he's been in trouble a little bit lately. Maybe he's the one you want to go to.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's the luck of the draw. We're all pretty well versed, so none of us should have a problem. Although my sister does lack some communication skills every once in a while, so it's one of those things that it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah. All right. Well, we know you're busy here. You got you're filming right now, so we won't hold you up, Jeff. I know this was big for you. So anything else you want to add there, Jeff?
Well, no, I'm waiting for the next season. So, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to watch the episodes because I mean, like I said, the funniest thing to me is when, I don't know how tough Seth is, but he sure seems tough on that show when he be like, "Hey, you want to do something to me? Come on, I'm coming from behind there. Okay, I'm coming." And next thing you know, the person look like they want to do something, but the big giant dude is behind him. And I don't know if this guy I don't know if he's saving Seth. I don't know. It's just so funny to me because no matter what, a person seems like they get ready to try to do something. Maybe the security's saving the customer from Seth and not Seth from the customer. That could be it. I don't know.
You just unlocked the secret.
I know. Seth has no problem coming from behind the window. Whenever somebody say, "You come out here," what? You think I'm scared of you?
Well, here's the deal. You can't be intimidated by anybody. It doesn't matter anybody's size. I'm still protecting my house at all costs. So it doesn't matter how big you are. The second you're going to call me out, it's game on. And that's the truth.
And that's one thing I see a lot of, and I know it's television, so things have to be worked a certain way to fit the television format, but that's one criticism I see you and your father both get a lot is that, you're always in somebody's face, but, you're doing it from behind, giant security. So, just your thoughts on that as far as challenging people and is it, how does that work with someone in front of you? Is it television purposes or what?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. So is
I just, it was one of them questions I got halfway through and I didn't know what I was asking either. But I was saying that, normally you get a lot of criticism on the message boards or whatever, people saying that you're hiding behind your security. I know things can be filmed a certain way for television. So how does that work just as far as, your security and their role in protecting you or protecting the customers?
Well, the real deal is they're protecting the store, and they're protecting the store's assets. And while I'm at the store, I'm one of the store's assets. And ultimately, you're going to raise your voice at me. You might be bigger than me, and there might be fists thrown. But ultimately, you're not going to walk out a very happy customer if you decide to do anything to me, because I keep security on staff, because you never know what people are liable to do. So if we have thrown down, it's happened. People have gotten arrested. It's just not a smart move, because people are emotional, and it's like, this is an emotional business. This is strictly business for me. So you're gonna get stupid. You're gonna get tossed into jail. So do I hide behind my security? I'm not. Like I said, I'm not scared of anybody. But my security is there for a reason, and I employ them to do things that call for action when there needs to be action.
Right. Who's the last guy you want to tangle with in your security? Which one is the real badass?
My security guy, his name is Hook. He's low key. He's always around, and he's not very prevalent on the show, but he means business all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of not being prevalent, go ahead, Ashley.
I was just going to say, and that's a pretty scary nickname. It's one of those where you're like, I kind of want to know where he got it, but then again, I'm not really sure I want to know either.
That's his name, period. That's all we know.
And speaking of not being very prevalent on the show, is there a reason, just her choice, or I know your mother's involved with the business. Why is she not featured on the show?
She was on the first season, but when they had her decide between my sister and me, who was right in a fight, she's like, I'm done. Like, I'm not deciding between my kids. Like, I won't go on the record doing that. So, you know what? I'll watch it just like everybody else. All right,
and then just as far as the very last thing, as far as Detroit goes, is Dave, being still the mayor there, and unfortunately with the show you see a lot of problems with Detroit, and unfortunately the situation it's in. Just your thoughts on the city and what's going on with that.
Number one, I'm a Detroiter. I absolutely love the city of Detroit. Number two, like any big city, you're going to have its good sides, you're going to have its dark sides. Detroiters are resilient, so the auto industry is coming back. People are tough, and that's explained through our show. So is it down and out? Absolutely not. Are we coming back? Absolutely. There's a change in leadership with Bing, who I personally like. It's moving in the right direction.
And that's the one thing that's great about Detroit is, like I haven't lived there in 20 years, but I still always, first and foremost, if you ask where I'm from, and I'm actually not even from Detroit, but I'm from Detroit. I can't, who knows what Bloomfield is, but I always say Detroit. I always consider myself being from Michigan, and that's one thing I think helps the state is that, people seem to be, for the most part, pretty loyal to the place. So, that's a great thing, and we wish the state and then, of course, your store all the best. Jeff, anything else that you want to throw in there?
Nope.
Ashley, what about you?
I'm waiting for the new season. That's it.
There's a new episode on tonight, actually. For you guys.
Okay, I'll be watching.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's actually been already on over there, I guess, and not aired over here yet. So Seth, we'll have to get in touch. We'll have to work out a trade with anything in particular, any requests you got for memorabilia, something we can swing for you.
Gloves for sure.
Gloves, one of them.
Set of gloves.
All right, well, we'll have to arrange that, Jeff, and get exchange going and get some swag from their store. That'd be great. Seth, just go ahead before we let you go. Just give the folks a rundown. We've already talked about, but where they can catch a show. If you do Twitter and whatever else you do.
Sure. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, True TV. We're running a new season. We're actually hitting the finale right now, so next week is the season finale. We start back up in March. You can follow me on Twitter at SethHCP. I'm really engaging with the fans, and I appreciate the opportunity for you guys having me on the show.
Yeah, and we enjoyed it. And the best thing with your show is if you do miss it, they play the hell out of it. Like Jeff said, we've all seen every show like 4 or 5 times, so it's always plenty of time to catch a show. So, Seth, thanks so much for joining us. We'd love to have you on, and like I said, we'll work out that trade for some swag.
Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and before you go, Seth, we have a customary ritual when Jeff gets rid of everybody. So Jeff, I'll let you do the honors.
Okay. I see that y'all have 4 shows back to back, so I'll be watching. But time to go. Bye.
Later, guys.
Thanks a lot, Seth. Appreciate that.
Bye.
All right, that was Seth Gold from Hardcore Pawn out there in Detroit. Thanks so much for him joining us. Great having him on. Guys, any thoughts on that?
Well, I thought last week Jeff was excited to have me on, but I did not know that he would be 1,000% more excited this week. So I got to hand it to him. Seth is a wanted man. I'm glad he was able to come on.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. I think Jeff was more excited to have Seth on than he was Larry Holmes or Tommy Hearns or you.
Oh, I completely agree. Oh, totally.
Hey.
But Jeff, now your problem is that you're stuck with me, so you better get excited that I'm here because you're stuck with me now.
I'm very excited. You see how excited we got about you? We made you a part of the show.
All right.
Yeah, he made me do it. He made me do it, Ashley. I was against it, but he said, we have to have her. So I said, it's his show, so I had to do it. And I campaigned against it, but, he's a boss.
Oh, I know. And he is the best trainer, right?
That's the absolute best trainer. His nephew might not be the best fighter, but Jeff's the best trainer. All right, guys, we just got a couple more minutes. We'll bring on our next guest here, Jessica Rakoczy and Dewey Cooper. First, Jessica, Ashley, tell us this past weekend you got to work out there in Oklahoma City on Jessica and Dewey Cooper's fight. So tell us about that and how that went.
I was so excited that I found out that was going to be your guest this week because I did get to see the fight last week. I Twittered a few pictures, and you can check those out on my Twitter at Ashley Ferreira. And it was a really great night. The Oklahoma City Charity Fight Night actually benefits the Police Athletic League in Oklahoma City. And so they were super excited to have such a big fight on the card. It was one of the bigger fights that they've had there. And the crowd by that point was super excited and, gave her a standing ovation when she came in. And she just fought a great fight, and never for a minute did I think it wasn't going to go in her favor, so I was really happy for her. They did raise a ton of money.
Yeah, I talked to her the other day. She said, even though it was 99-90 on all the judges' scorecards, still, she said the girl was tough, though, and hung in there with her. And then, of course, the headbutt at the end of the 9th round had to have been a little scary for a moment there. She had a pretty good gash over her right eye there. But, by all accounts, she did really well for herself.
Yeah, and it's not the easiest venue to fight at because by the time, the main event comes on, people have been smoking cigars in that room for about 4.5 hours by that point. So I am sure that, I know it smelled like cigar, and I'm sure it was not so easy to breathe, but they were absolutely troopers.
Really? And now, Jeff, I believe you did put in the call to Ray Mancini to get that signature, right? How did that go?
I didn't get it.
What
I
happened?
did not. No, I didn't get to meet him.
Oh, see, now Jeff went out on a limb for you, and he threw his name out there, and you go and make him look bad.
It was not me. Their table was on the opposite side, so it was so packed that I never got to get over to that side because I was working so hard, but I was pretty upset about it. I brought my book, I brought my marker, and I never ended up getting it signed. So
and actually, you screwed over both of us because you screwed over both of us because I had to hook up with Dewey and Jessica too, and you didn't go there. So Jeff, I don't know. We might have to rethink this. She's not just pulling her in.
It is not my fault that I was already working the event, and they wanted to get out of there and have some pre-fight or post-fight celebrations. I don't blame them for getting out of there.
All right, Jeff, we're getting ready to bring those guys on. Jeff, anything else as far as the gym, anything that's going on the folks need to know about or you got coming up?
Basically, what I have coming up, I have King Mo again. Bellator 87, I would think it is.
No, they do it every week. That's going to be it's in February 21st, I believe, in Salt Lake City. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's not. They do that every week. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he'll be fighting the second fight of the tournament, and then he has one more fight left for the tournament. Then I have after that I have Celestino coming up. I have Zach Cooper first. On the 23rd of March in Seattle, and then I have Celestino March 30th.
Yeah, he's fighting in Panama.
Yeah, finally.
Is that March 30th? I thought they moved that to April. It's not in April, it's in March?
Last I heard it was in March.
Because I heard it was March 3rd, and I thought they moved it to April 27th. I'm not sure you have to check that, but the last report I read was April 27th.
No, if they moved it to April 27th, that's even better. I like that better.
Well, don't quote me on that, but I did read an article in one of the sites that mentioned it was in April, like the 27th, give or take a day, whatever weekend that is. So I don't know. Let's check on that and confirm. But all right, Ashley. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. Ashley, anything else from you? You already gave the Twitter on that kind of stuff. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up? Your first show as an official co-host.
Yes, it was.
No, we're not wrapping the show. We're actually, I'm sorry, explain here. Ashley has to take off here, so she's not going to be joining us for the second half of the show. But as far as you go, anything else you want to add?
No, I really want to thank you guys so much for having me back, and I'm absolutely looking forward to next week. I apologize. One of my professors is being kind of a slave driver, so I have to jump off. But next week I will be on for the whole time, and after that I will be on consistently as long as Jeff still lets me come on.
Well, Jeff, you got reviews on her first show?
I'm sorry?
I said, do you have any reviews on her performance? Are we going to bring her back next week or what?
No, I think she did great. I mean, I like her input, and she's a lawyer. We got to keep her.
Just forgot I was on the call when Seth was on, so it was all good.
I think Jeff needs to go Jeff has to go take a cold shower right about now, I think.
Oh, my God.
All right, well, Ashley, thanks so much for joining us.
All right.
I'm sorry?
All right, Jessica.
I said you're still the best, Jeff. Are you gonna say goodbye to me officially, or am I relieved of the official goodbyes because I'm now officially part of it?
No, you're part of the team. You don't get a goodbye.
All right then. I will give you a see you later then.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Make sure you let Jessica know I apologize for not making it over there, but I hope you guys have a great conversation with her.
All right, for sure.
Yeah,
take care, Ashley. Appreciate that. And thanks. We just had him on. Thanks so much to Seth God for joining us. And all right, we're going to go ahead and bring on our next guest here. We got a couple of them for you. One of them just had a great weekend, and one, hopefully for him, will have a great weekend that's coming up here. We're joined by Jessica Rakoczy and her trainer, Dewey the Black Cobra Cooper. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. I know, Dewey, you've been on the show quite a while ago, but it's glad to have you back. And, Jessica, this is your first time. And of course, we want to congratulate you, the new WIBA Super Bantamweight champion. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without Dewey.
I'm sure. I know he was working you to death. Talk to us about that. Get ready for it. I know what's that?
He's the best coach ever.
Well, Dewey, let's start with you, Dewey. Tell us about that weight cut. I know that wasn't fun.
Well, Jessica, like I told you on the website interview, man, she's a consummate professional. She always gets it done, no matter how demanding it is. She trains hard, and she's a dedicated athlete to the sport of boxing, man, and actually all aspects of pugilism, mixed martial arts as well. So, the opportunity came, and she conquered, simple as that. Of course, it was hard getting there, but, hey, man, struggle builds character, you know what I mean? Struggle builds character, and, the Razor Rakoczy is a very special athlete / woman's boxer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dewey.
Hey, Jessica, let's get your let's get your thoughts on it, Jessica. I know you were worried, the week before you were worried you were going to make the weight, and ultimately you did, and your opponent didn't. So tell us about that.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. But you know what? We just train really hard, and we have a set schedule, and I've never not made weight, so I wasn't worried that I wasn't going to make it. I just knew it was going to be a struggle to make the weight.
All right. And I want to welcome into the show. He had a little technical difficulty there, but Jeff is now with us. Jeff, back here with Dewey and Jessica Rakoczy.
Hey, Mr. Mayweather.
Yes,
Hi there.
Jeff. Jeffy, Jeff in the building.
Jazzy. You're late for the date, Jeffrey.
Yeah. So Jessica, tell us about, I made a comment today, and for those of us that have never had to go through weight cuts and that kind of thing, just, the different, from emotional aspect, the way you are leading up to a fight, especially when you have a difficult weight cut like that, and then when it's all over, how you feel?
I think it's not just like the women, it's everybody. You get real irritated and just kind of edgy, and there's a lot of pressure on you. So, it's when the fight's done and over with, you can relax, and then your mind can kind of, I can speak a little better. I was so out of it because I was trying to cut all that weight and trying to take care of my son, and just kind of was, my brain was fried.
All right.
Well,
what's that, Jeff?
He's fine.
So at what point were you finally secure that you were going to make the weight?
What made me feel secure I was going to make the weight?
No. At what point in time did you realize, okay, you were going to make the weight?
Oh, we just thought, we'll just cut off a couple of fingers or something. We'll be good.
Hey, listen, I can answer that question. The morning of.
No, I think it was like the afternoon when we got on the scale over at the office. That was when we knew.
Yeah. Now, Dewey, Jeff has time and time again taken all credit for your abilities as a trainer. Especially when some of your training wins. So, what were your plans going in, Dewey? She's been out of action, out of the boxing ring for over a year. What were your plans going in this fight at Tough Girl?
Well, you're absolutely right about Jeff. Jeff taught me at least 90% of everything I know about boxing. Before Jeff, though, Wilson Honeyman Smith did help me out in the pre-stages of my boxing career when I was only doing kickboxing. But Jeff is definitely the father of my evolution in boxing, no doubt. Basically, I use Jeff's philosophy when it comes down to my fighters fighting people. The strong will always defeat the weak, but the smart will always defeat the strong. In other words, we compare, my fighter versus the person they're fighting, and we come up with a list of attributes that should ensure us a victory, and we work on those attributes. We work on trying to use every advantage we have in every fight, and that's that smart defeating the strong philosophy, and it's been working pretty well at this point.
Yeah. Hey, now Jeff, let me ask you this. You've been with Dewey for years and years and years. Are you surprised that he's able, considering he's still an active fighter himself, that he's been so successful with the fighter he's been working with so far, with him, with Jessica, Beirut, and others?
No, I think that Dewey, basically, he's always been a teacher anyway. He's always taught people, the fundamentals of K1 and kickboxing and things like that. So, I think that him being a teacher is nothing new. And I think that, he has a career waiting for him whenever he decides he wants to hang him up, or even before he hangs him up. No, I'm not surprised about Dewey at all.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to this fight here a little bit. Jessica, this girl, she's a tough girl. You won it on the scorecards fairly easily, 99-90 on all cards. Tell us about the fight, anything that surprised you, or were you surprised that you were able to get such a convincing win?
Well, for me, like, we expected her to, like, come forward and be really aggressive, and Dewey kind of already said to me, you know, as soon as you put that power on her, it's going to change the game. So, you know, we went in thinking she was going to be aggressive, and as soon as we, you know, put the combinations together, we dropped her in the first round, and she didn't come at me. So we just kind of had to box from the outside. But that's what Dewey wanted me to do anyway, was just box her from the outside. And we just picked her apart. That's what he wanted me to do. But we clashed heads a lot, and I have a...
Go ahead.
No,
guys, remember, this girl has been very active as of late. She's been much more active than Jessica at her normal weight that she's won 3 championships in. So I just wanted Jessica to utilize her attributes and let's get the victory, you know what I mean? She did, you know, she wanted to go in there and bang. I just kept imploring her to just keep using the jab, keep the distance. You know, Velez will run into some right hands and left hooks at some point. She did it late in the first round, went down, and she aborted her mission. She basically gave the fight away by not trying to be aggressive and not putting her work rate up. But hey, you know, we'll take that. You know, Jessica's power and her boxing skills made Velez abandon ship. And that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, you know. We just didn't want to take any chances on giving her an opportunity to try to persevere. And Jessica used her attributes perfectly and had a dominant performance.
And we were kind of seeing how the weight was going to be, too, for me, my energy-wise. So, he wanted me to feel her out the first round, but we were able to connect and drop her. She was just really tough, so.
How'd you feel with the weight cut? I mean, did it affect you with your stamina? I mean, obviously with the distance.
It sucked. Yeah, no, it sucked. It really sucked to make 122, but I didn't have any other choice because it was either I take this fight at 122 or I don't have a fight. So that's why we did it. Because Dewey wasn't happy with that weight at all for me. He wanted me to fight at 26.
Yeah, now you'd started to mention the headbutt. You know, it happened right at the end of the fight, so, you know, fortunately for you. But, you know, did it affect anything at all as far as the way you approached the fight?
The headbutt?
Yeah, when you opened the gash above your right eye there.
Yeah, no, we clashed throughout the whole fight. There wasn't, you know, there was a lot of bumping, but as the fight goes on, you know, you just become numb of it and you just keep going. So that one just happened to cut me. We were headbutting the whole time, but that one just cut me in the ninth.
Right. Now, Jeff, to bring you back in here, you know, you've been around Jessica for years as well, you know, always at the gym. And what do you think of her as a fighter and the work she puts in there in the gym?
I mean, that's good. I've known Jessica for a very, very long time. And, I mean, Jessica's the epitome of what a woman athlete should be. I mean, she comes to the gym. She focuses on what she has to do. She's not like, you know, some of the girls that come to the gym, you know, basically just want to be like eye candy for the guys in the gym. But, you know, Jessica is almost as though, I mean, she's not one of the guys. She's not one of the guys, but I mean, her focus is just like one of the guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, I mean, she's there for business, and, you know, you have other women that are there that, you know, some are for business and some are not. But definitely, I mean, any woman that's in the gym should probably, you know, look to Jessica to, you know, get their work ethic up and you know, prepare themselves for the upcoming fight.
Right. Well, you know, she may not be there to be eye candy, but I tell you what, you Google, if you can figure out how to spell her name, if you Google her, there's some nice pictures of Jessica looking pretty good in her made-up pictures there.
She was smoking a good weed.
What?
Jeff's got to talk about weed in every program. That's a staple.
Drug-free.
Oh, okay.
Dewey, I have a question for you here. You know, for the casual boxing fans, this is the one thing I don't get. Explain to me this. Why is Jessica not known more, you know, amongst the female boxers? I mean, the casual fans, they've heard of the people she's beaten. They've heard of Mia St. John. They've heard of, Layla McCarter. But Jessica doesn't seem to get the recognition she deserves. Why is that?
Well, it's a simple term, this social media buzz. All these girls have a serious campaign going on. They're solidifying themselves not only as fighters but as sex images, sexy images, and then of course, being signed with a major promotion. That's any good boxer. If you're not signed with a major promotional company, or fighting on big events, you're kind of going to fall by the wayside. Unfortunately, some of the greatest fighters aren't even known because of that. A lot of politics are involved with that. But yeah, Jessica beat Mia St. John twice when Mia was considered one of the best fighters in the world. She already beat Layla McCarter, another great fighter. Jessica is a sensational fighter. She just didn't jump on that sexy bandwagon and market herself as a sex symbol like a lot of those ladies did.
Is it too late, Dewey? I was just playing.
No, that's definitely not too late. But remember, some of some of the greatest musicians didn't get recognized until they were dead. All these classical artists and blah blah blah. It doesn't happen just in boxing, but with the way social media is, if you got people hitting you up on Twitter saying you're the baddest and the best and pretty and all of that, that Ronda Rousey syndrome, 7 fights and everybody in the world knows your name, it makes a big difference. But if you're a real fan of fighting, you know who Jessica is, and that's what we're about, man. We're not about gimmicks. We're about being real and professional at what we do, and we'll let the word decide where we stand when it's all over.
Right. Now, Jessica, how did you end up with Dewey? I mean, he's, relatively new, as far as being a trainer, he's a fighter himself. So what made you decide to put your career in his hands?
Well, when I originally started in Denver with Ray Seffel, he actually is really good friends with Dewey, and he sent me to Vegas to work with Dewey. But I ended up working with Jeff, too, because Dewey was training for a fight, and I've always worked with Dewey since, the beginning, but I worked with Jeff as well. And when, when Dewey was able to train me full time, then that's when, we just did it then. But I've always trained with him, and I went through Ray Seffel. That's how I met him. And he had always trust in him.
Yeah,
you weren't happy with Jeff as a trainer then, right?
No, I always work with Jeff too. I still to this day work with Jeff still. But Dewey's my head coach. But I always train with Jeff. I love Jeff, and Dewey's my head coach. I have good people around me. I'm very blessed.
And just remember, Jeff is the master. I'm a disciple of the master. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm second generation. I'm second generation of the Mayweather style because I learned strictly from a Mayweather. There's a lot of trainers out there doing the Mayweather system. But actually I'm first generation. So what am I talking about? I'm first generation because I learned directly from Mayweather for over 13 years. Let's get that straight. A lot of guys are doing the Mayweather system and never trained with Floyd, Roger, or Jeff. So, let's get that straight. I'm a real Mayweather practitioner. So, that's the thing. And Jessica and I go way back from 2000, training in my garage, sparring for 15, 20 straight minutes, doing all kind of crazy kung fu stuff back then. We're all one big united family. And Jeff, I'm blessed.
Definitely.
I'm blessed that Jeff taught me the boxing tools that I needed to complement my kickboxing tools, and that's what's up.
Right. Now, Jessica, the one thing I'm curious about, are you, you've dabbled in MMA, you haven't, if you look at your record, you say, well, it's not impressive, but then if you realize who you fought and the fact that at that point you hadn't trained on the ground at all, it's certainly understandable. Your 3 losses were to 3 the best female fighters out there. Now you've been training with Robert Drysdale a couple of years, so you've got the ground game down. You've been working on that. So where do you go from here? Are you leaning towards the MMA thing, or are you going to try to do both equally, or what's next for you?
Well, I'm going to do both, but my love is boxing, and you know, I needed to get back on top. I just didn't feel comfortable the way I left it. So the only reason why I took those MMA fights at the beginning was, you know, my promoter was fired, and I just had a baby, and I was really kind of stressing my own self out. So I took those fights not knowing anything, and Dewey was not happy with me for taking them at all. But, you know, we did it, and I sucked, and I had to learn from it, and now I know what I'm doing on the ground. So he's more comfortable with me now doing the MMA. He just didn't want me doing it because I didn't know what I was doing. And, you know, I did it for the wrong reasons. Now I know.
Right.
I'm a lot more comfortable now.
Right, you know, and having been in there, I think with Zoe Gergel's one of the best wrestlers out there for the female. I mean, it's you're going to know what to expect going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, Jessica, let me ask you this, or actually for you and Dewey. You know, men with boxing and MMA, you can argue which one's more popular, but it seems that the momentum for the female is definitely on the MMA side. Do you feel that as a fighter? Do you feel the same way? And if so, why?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you know, MMA definitely is the most popular rising. It's a hostile takeover right now in all pugilistic fighting styles. MMA is definitely gaining a lot of momentum and taking over the world. And it's because of the great marketing ploy of the UFC, man. They marketed their brand versus the fight, but it translated into the great fights. They have great matchups. People become rich and stars overnight. And the fighters reflect the young population right now. You got the tattoos and mohawks and guys talking slang, you know, guys on Twitter all day, really connecting with the fans. Boxers are much more untouchable that you know, so that's why. And I think Jessica should definitely do them both. She's already accomplished a milestones of things in boxing. Let's do those same things in MMA. You know, I want to see her win a championship in mixed martial arts. And it can be done because her ground game is wicked now. So I'm confident with her fighting whomever at this point.
And now that she's got a title around her waist, you know, it is going to be great, you know, great to market her in MMA. You know, you got a current champion dabbling it, so it'll be fun for the people to see. Especially, like you said, now she can, you know, she's not a walkover on the ground. She can hang with them. So, you know, Jessica, just as far as your thoughts on the popularity of both.
What? Say that.
Just like, you know, your thoughts the same way. Do you feel that there's a lot more interest in the female MMA than there is in female boxing right now?
Oh, definitely there's a lot more. Yeah, definitely. Boxing's, it's, you know, MMA's taken over right now, but I'm actually, I need boxing in my life, so I need to box.
Good. Now, Dewey, you should set up, you know, me and St. John, I believe had one MMA fight, right? You could set that up in MMA or Holly Holm or somebody else.
Well, I mean, we're not going to worry about, you know, names. We're just going to try to get victories. Enough victories happen consecutively, we'll get opportunities. But the last thing I want to interject about the MMA boxing, what's more popular thing, since Layla Ali left boxing, it took a huge, women's boxing, it took a huge downfall. For instance, who's the most popular female fighter? Is it Mia St. John? Is it Holly Holmes? Who is it? I mean, Ronda Rousey's more popular than whomever it is right now. So that's the answer to your question. You know what I mean? So the U.S. is all about the next trend, what everyone's into. And right now, that next thing is MMA. Whether it's here to stay or it'll be gone in 10 years, who knows? The way it's going, I think it's here to stay, man. You know, you have captivating matchups, not so much politics like in boxing, and you got people that really touch the lives of the youth in the United States. I think that's the biggest key. After Pacquiao Mayweather leaves boxing, who knows what's going on? But there's a lot of guys in mixed martial arts coming up that's still going to have a huge fan base.
All right, so Jessica, last thing for you, just you know, as far as next, are we looking for you in a cage? Are you going to be in the ring, or do you know yet?
I probably is going to be a boxing fight, but if something MMA comes up for March, I'll take it, and we'll just have to figure out the training schedule with Dewey and fighting and all of that.
Right.
Yes,
we'll look forward to it.
We're definitely looking for something in March and April. We're definitely looking for something either March or April. I talked to King Mo today. He said we could probably set an MMA fight up for Jessica in April. You know, we're gonna check every opportunity and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should say anything or not, but yeah, if Mo can get something worked out there, I think it'd be great. I'd love to see her in the cage, and like I said, I can't wait to see her, you know, apply the jiu-jitsu skills and the stuff she learned over at Drysdale's gym and in a cage, and that'll be fun to see because no one's going to play with her on the feet, so I think she'll be fun to watch.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, we're going to switch gears a little bit. You know, Jessica, if you need, I know you're at the grocery store, so if you want to take off, that's fine. Or if you want to stay there. What's that? You want to take off?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm at the grocery store and trying to get out of here.
Okay, good. We're going to switch and talk to Dewey here a little about what he's got going on, so you're welcome to stay with us. If not, you're welcome to take off and take care of your business. I would say, you know,
I can take care of my son.
Okay, and I would say, you know, we could plug your Twitter and all that, but I think you just tell me rotary phone. I'm surprised you had a cell phone, you had a computer, so none of that. Right? So, you know, just anything for the folks that are fans of yours where they can, just for them.
Just appreciate all my fans, definitely, and I just want to tell Dewey, man, take care of your business in China, and I love you tons. You're the best, and man, do your thing out there.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
See you, Jim. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, that was Jessica Rakoczy. Now that we have the females out here, Jeff, go ahead and talk some trash about Dewey. You've been talking bad about him all this time, so.
I went over and apologized.
What'd I say?
Well,
give me a good one.
Hey, well, all I can say about Jeff, I'm dropping weight and all of that, and in the Doom session today, I only got hit once, so, you know, I did pretty well today.
Yeah, actually, he did great.
Yeah.
So I know he's ready.
Well, let's get into that real quick. Dewey, first of all, just tell everybody what you got going on. Now you're getting ready to go to China, so tell us, folks, what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, I'm leaving late tonight. I'm flying to San Fran, from San Fran to Beijing, and then from Beijing to a mainland city called Chengdu, China. I'll be fighting there Super Bowl Sunday, February 3rd. My nephew, Big David, and I, kickboxing fight, and, you know, we're looking forward to doing it.
All right. Now, Jeff, let me ask you this.
I'm fighting a Chinese fighter his name is too difficult to pronounce. So, you know, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. I can't even spell it because it's written in the character writing. So, I'm just a good Chinese guy.
I think, Jeff, you're fluent in Mandarin, aren't you?
Mandarin chicken.
I can actually
Jeff,
speak a little Mandarin. I just can't read it.
You've been around Dewey for years, Jeff. How difficult? You know, I've mentioned on many occasions, Dewey seems like he's the busiest guy in all of sports. You know, he's a trainer, he's an MMA fighter, he's a kickboxer, he's a boxer, he's a singer. I mean, he's by all accounts, I don't know, I've been around him, but he seems like a great dad because that's all I see on his Facebook. So, you know, a guy this busy. You know, how do you feel he's done as far as capitalizing his talent and you know, making a career for himself?
I mean, Dewey's a jack of all trades, and he's gonna be successful at somewhere, you know. And I mean, he's doing well in pretty much in everything that he does. You know, it's kind of funny for me when I was watching on Facebook. This dude's giving a concert in Japan or China or something, and people are going crazy. I'm like, what the hell?
and then fighting 3 hours later.
So I mean, like I said, Dewey's one of those guys that, you know, I mean, whatever he gets himself into, he throws himself into it. You know, basically, even like with his training, you know, sometimes with Dewey, I gotta try to, you know, slow this dude down because he wants to put on all these type of different machines and stuff like that, and you know, I mean, he's a guy that, you know, he believes in hard work. You know, he truly believes in hard work. He don't take no shortcuts, you know. But sometimes I do need to slow him down because, you know, sometimes he works too hard and he tears his body down.
Yeah, he looks like he put that machine. He looks like Predator. You know, he's got the dreads going and all that contraption thing on there. He looks like looks like some Predator monster. Dewey, you do all this stuff. Any thoughts of that? You've somehow you spread yourself too thin, and maybe you didn't achieve all you think maybe you could have if you didn't do so many things, or have you got the best out of yourself?
Well, I never look at could-haves, I look at the results, and if I come up short on something, I take a deep look in the mirror and I try to improve and get better. One thing about this fight world, as long as you keep your confidence and believe in what you're doing, it will most of the time be better than not. As far as doing a lot of work, my entire life I've done a lot of work. Remember, I did kickboxing as a kid. I went to school full time. I played every sport from football to basketball to track every year. So I've always multitasked my entire life since 10 years old. So it's just the way I'm conditioned. I've never been a guy who just did one thing. And I've kept those attributes my entire life. Remember, a lot of kids just go to school and go home and get on the computer all day. I went to school, did my extracurricular sports, did kickboxing, went home, did my homework, ate and went to sleep my whole life. So basically I'm doing the same thing now. My lifestyle hasn't changed since I was 10 years old. That's why I can do so many things and still be somewhat successful. Yeah.
Now we know that kickboxing is your true love out of the three combat sports. Will we ever see you back in a boxing ring or an MMA cage, or as long as the kickboxing fights keep coming, are you going to stick to that?
No, I'm definitely going to get back in the boxing ring. Man, I had a big announcement to make, but I found out today it got snatched from me. I was fighting for the WBO Cruiserweight African belt March 30th, but it was out of me and this guy, Andreas Taylor, and they choose Andre Taylor over me. So I was almost going to fight for a championship March 30th in Ghana. But, it didn't happen. They said if something happens, they'll have me take over his place if he can't get his passport or something like that, or if not, maybe summer. So I'm just going to stay busy. Whatever endeavor comes up, I'm going to take that endeavor and do my best to be successful in it.
All right. Jeff, as a trainer, how does it affect you when you work with someone like Dewey, who has fights sporadically in boxing? I know you guys are up in North Dakota, was that 6 months ago, or wherever it was, had a fight there. But how is it working with someone who's not full-time a boxer?
I mean, like I said, Dewey, is a guy that, like he said, basically his whole life, he's been doing multiple things. So it's not a big deal to me, because, the one thing I know, when Dewey comes into the gym, he gives 110%. He works harder than pretty much everybody in the gym. So he's not in a situation where, because he's doing something else, his boxing is suffering because of it. He comes in the gym, he works hard. He works extremely hard, and like he said, the one thing that, of course, I've always worked with him on more than anything is his defense. And today, the defense was pretty much flawless. I got lucky, got one in today. But that's what I want to see. He's getting ready to get on the plane going to China. He knows his defense is tight. He knows his defense is right. He's going to do his thing.
And the strange thing is, Dewey, I don't know, maybe it's because I've watched you more than just about anybody as far as training, but I don't think I've seen anyone who from like the beginning of a camp to the end shows more difference. Like your first day of training, you're a little rough, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Dewey's gonna get smoked, and then, your final couple sessions before you're ready to go, you can see it's like a whole new guy, something totally different. Is that something that just because more maybe your age, as far as you learn to pace yourself and in working out where you're peaking at just the right time?
Yeah. What I've been doing for the last year, like I always train every day. Training is a lifestyle for me, but every day I used to train like I had a 12-round fight. For the last year, I've been like, if I don't have a fight, I may jump rope for 20 minutes today and lift weights. I don't do like 20 minutes of rope, 10 rounds in the bag, 30 minutes on conditioning. I've been breaking it down in smaller segments so I can have a little fun, extracurricular stuff, go out with my friends, hang out with my girlfriend, stuff like that. So you know, when the fight comes, I sign a fight. All I do, I get stripped on my diet, no sweets, and then I start going back to the regular training methods. And like you said, you know, Jeff is a very busy guy, so I don't like to be with him when I don't have a fight coming up because I don't like to take his time. I feel very bad when I have to take Jeff's time. So without Jeff, of course, my boxing lacks, you know, a bit. I still train boxing, but I'm not sharp on my defense. I'm not sharp on my counter punching abilities until I get back with Jeff. So I basically just keep it on a small plateau until it's time to go Kobra mode, and then I go crazy for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and I'm back to the Kobra. That's why you see such a transgression, just because I've been doing that for like the last year. Otherwise, I would go 2-3 hours a day, every day, for the last 15 years training, even when I didn't have a fight. So now I'm starting to relax, spend more time with my daughter, hang out with my girlfriend, that sort of thing. When before I didn't hang out with anyone. I was strictly a hobbit, training, sleeping, training.
All right, and, you know, before your last fight, the K1 fight there, you came out in the losing end, but, you know, going in, you had a pretty significant arm injury. You know, probably a fight that you shouldn't even have taken considering the injury. How is your arm now?
Yeah, I'm 100%. The bicep is healed. The rotator cuff on my right shoulder is healed. And, you know, one thing about me, I don't care what injury I have. I fought with torn ACL. I fought with broken ribs. I fought with a torn bicep. Man, once I sign a fight, I'm not pulling out. No matter if I lose my life, no matter what, I'm not pulling out. So, you know, unfortunately, things didn't happen the way the way I wanted them to. But, you know, I put up a valiant effort, and my confidence is still here, and I'll do better February 3rd.
Now, Jeff, that's admirable to say, but, you know, as a trainer, do you find that wise?
Well, I won't say it's wise, but I've seen this firsthand, you know, I mean, with Dewey in K1. You know, in the K1, they usually have that tournament. You win, you fight, maybe, a half hour later or something like that. And I've seen where Dewey came back to the locker room, could barely stand on one foot, you know, on one leg, and, you know, but he still went out there and fought. So, I mean, you know, but I mean, that's a part of him that, you know, that's going to be there, you know, and I can't say it's good or it's bad. I mean, sometimes myself, I would say it's not the smartest thing to do, but, I mean, we're all different, you know, and I mean, that's something that Dewey has that, you know, has that diehard mentality. So, you know, I got to let him be who he is.
Yeah, and one thing, you know, I'm not an ignorant person, but this is a lifestyle. So I said that earlier, and that was a very strategic statement. A lifestyle means you put your life on the line by doing it. This is not a recreation or a hobby for me. I take it very seriously, and one day when I quit, whatever. But right now, you know, I'm going hard, and I'm willing to sacrifice my body for what I believe. I feel like the universe, the good man upstairs, is going to keep me safe. And injuries are, in my mind anyway, injuries are cosmetic. If I get something torn or my face ripped off and I'm bleeding all over the place, I'm not going to stop the fight then. I got to look like that for weeks and weeks. If my rib is broken, I'm not going to stop the fight then. My rib's going to be broken anyway. So I want the liberation of going through battle and then walking out like I walked in, a man. And you know, it's kind of uncivilized and kind of not really smart. I'm not going to say ignorant, but it's not the smartest thing to do. But, you know, sometimes, man, we have to live by something. We have to have a creed in which we live by, and I live by that creed no matter what.
Well, it's certainly commendable. I mean, I think if I had a cough, you know, I'd probably, cancel a fight. So, you know, something that goes in with some injuries, that's pretty impressive. You know, we know you got to get out of here, so I'll let you go on this. Just, you know, as far as, you know, the people don't follow hardcore, but what's going on with K1? Is that coming back, or are you working with them? I mean, I know they've had problems with their ownership and that kind of thing. So what's the status with K1? Are you going to be back in K1? Just listen on that.
Yeah. K1's still going strong. Next Asian tournament will be in March in Zagreb, Croatia. And yes, I'm definitely going to be competing in K1 to come. They have 3 dates already set, Croatia, Spain, Korea. I'll be fighting on one of those shows. So yeah, K1's going strong. majority owner sold a lot of this out to a different owner, but the goal is still the same, which is global, and they're definitely going to do more shows, and I will be back in action very soon.
Yeah, great. And then for the folks that want to follow you, keep up with you, just, give them the social media breakdown.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Jesus Christ, a friend of mine set it up for me, but Dewey Cooper, join a DWYCO on Facebook, or same thing on Twitter, Dewey Cooper on that Twitter or whatever. I'm not really a big Twitter guy like Facebook, so, and I'm going to open up an Instagram thing soon, because I love showing pictures of me and my daughter. So, that's what's up, man. If you want to get in contact with me, hey, I always just, I'll support.
In any way to watch the fights there in China, is there any internet streaming or anything like that available, or is it something just,
if you have a show like the other Chinese network called
Dewey Cooper and Jessica Rakoczy before that with them there. Like she had the big win this past week, and hopefully do the same this weekend for having them both on there. Jeff, anything before we go? What's that? All right, man. We'll talk to y'all next week. And next week we have a very, we're not going to announce for everybody for sure, but we have a huge show planned for next week, so be sure to tune in. Until next week, take care.
I want it all focused. Let's go and get it. Go and get it. Let them focus, say let's go and get it. Killing competition. I'm all about it. Spend that bread and make it back. Ain't worried about competition. Put them on cardiac, popping bottles and all of that. You know I'm all of that. I keep the crowd jumping like I gave them a party pack. Audibles like a quarterback. Rock the burger. I'm killing these niggas up. I'm getting away with murder.